In this video, we will discuss the index match formula. The index match formula is actually two formulas combined into one. It is a substitute or alternative for the VLOOKUP formula, but it's got a few extra functionalities that the VLOOKUP does not have. So, like I said before, it's a match formula inside an index formula. So let's look at the two formulas separately at first to understand them. If you look at the index formula, first thing you'll notice, there are two sets of parameters you can enter into an index formula. Normally, most formulas will only take one set of parameters. For our case, for now, we'll just look at the first option, and you'll see now first it's going to ask you for an array. So let's say we wanted total sales. So you click on that column and then comma. What row do you need back? So now, because I selected the whole column, you must start counting from the top. So if I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I should get the first number there. Put the number 5 in, and there you get the 8666. So what this does, it says in that index of column H, go and bring me the fifth row back. Match works very similar to VLOOKUP, where you just say match. First it says what do you want to look for, so let's look for carrots. And then where do you want to look for it, so it's just a single column, so the carrots will be in this column somewhere. And then similar to the VLOOKUP, you'll have to put in a 0 to get an exact match. So there you get that the carrots is in row 11. If we wanted the carrots value to come back in the index, we would have to add, so this was row 5, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That would be the carrots value, 11,699. So now this is how you would combine it into one formula. I normally start with the inside of the formula, the match formula. So if I say, again, just match the carrots in this column exactly, I'll get 11 again. And now if you click on the formula in top here, just click just in front of the match, type in index this time, and if you do find that what you want to bring back, so I want to bring back the total sales, put in the comma, so the row is the match formula we did before, so you just need to go to the end and close the bracket again. And there you go, you get your carrots total sales. So now you can change this. Obviously, if I put in pairs, you'll get the pairs value. So that's how it works, is an index with a match formula inside of it. This is the most basic form of the index match formula, and this is what most people would use it for. Now I'll show you a little bit more advanced examples. In this example, I'll show you how you can have two match formulas. So let me show you what I mean. If we want the bananas sales for quarter 2, first of all, you'll find the bananas in this column. So it's row 8 in this column. But then sales Q2, this match formula works horizontal as well. So I'm looking for sales in this row this time, and you'll get 5. So sales Q2 is in column 5, bananas is in row 8. So now you can write a formula again to combine them all. So if I want the index, if you combine index of two match formulas, you can't just select, when you have a new array, you have to select, you can't just select one column, you have to select the whole set of data. So from B to H in this case. Then the row is the match of the bananas in that column. And the column, this is the third optional parameter, is the match again of sales Q2 in this row exactly. Just close this parenthesis and this one. So there you go, you got your 2, 8, 58, which is Q2 for bananas. There you go. Q3, sorry. So why are we getting a different answer? The reason I'm getting a different answer here is when I selected the data, well, when I selected the row, I selected the whole row. What I did here, I selected the whole row. So if I want to do the same, when I select my data here, I must select the same, I must start at the same place. So I must start include column A even though it doesn't have data. So if I just change that to click A to H, now you get what you're expecting, Q2 for bananas. So in this case, what you can do is rather than say you want the sales for Q2, if you click on data validation, and decide make this a list, and the source, you select all the options you want to be able to select, click OK, and now you see that's Q2. If you say the class, you'll see that's fruit, total sales. So now you can move this around depending on which column you want. So this is the index match. So you can have a row and a column to match before you get an answer. So this is the little bit more complicated example of the one before. Normally what I've done here is I've put the answer and the data on the same sheet just to show you, but normally you would have the data on a separate sheet and your column on another one. So if you do it on the same sheet like this, just make sure somewhere where you have to say the word bananas, that this is not in the same place as this column would have been. So you don't want your formulas to interfere with the actual data. I could not have put this bananas in here because then it becomes also part of the information. That's why I put it right here in the middle. For instance, also sales Q2, I didn't put in this row so that this sales Q2 doesn't interfere with that one. If you have two separate worksheets, this would not be an issue. So what I wanted to show you also, in the previous example, I selected the complete row and the columns and rows. So in this example, what I'll do, I'll show you where you select only the data you want to work with, and we'll use some absolute referencing. I'll put the link in the video to my absolute referencing tutorial if you want to see how that works. So let's see. So this is index. This time the array, I'm going to select exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm selecting the data this time, not the whole column or the whole row. I'm going to press F4 to lock that in. The row is a match of the bananas. So this time I want to lock in column J only, where the value is in exactly this set of data. So I press F4 to lock that in, and I want the value exactly. Then also I want to match Q2 sales, but this time again I want to only lock in row 6. So only row 6 is locked in, and I want to look exactly from there to there, lock that in, and I want that value exactly. So now I did two things here. First of all, if you look at the formulas, you'll see the block of data is exactly here, and these things all match up. So make sure your column matches the whole array and your row matches the whole array. Now if I put the data validation in here again, so now you can say you can change this to any of these other options. The reason for all the absolute referencing, if you wanted to get two of these options now, so if I put in carrots here, all I need to do is drag this down and it will just work. And if I want another option on the right of this, all I need to do is drag it over and it will work. So that is a way of working with index match with absolute referencing. So just get used to using the absolute referencing. You can, like I say, you'll see a link in my video and you can see how the absolute referencing would work. The In this example, what I did is I just transposed this data, so now the rows on columns have been swapped around. It's just to show you that a normal index match can work in a horizontal way as well. So if I here say give me the match first, I want to match bananas in this row this time. Exactly. So that gives you the 6th column, and this time I will say the index, I want to get the total sales. So this time I don't want this to be stuck in the row, so I just put 2 commas so that it goes swap over to the column, close my parentheses, and then you get your total sales for bananas. And if I change this to apples, it will change as well. So index match can work horizontal and vertical. In the beginning, if you remember, there was a alternative option to the index match, and it has got a different set of parameters. So in this example, I'll show you what you can do with that formula. In the example on screen, there is 3 years. All the sets of data is exactly the same size, but the actual information inside of them is different. So let's see how we can work with this. So in this, I'll say, get me the index. But now this time, rather than an array, you can have a reference. So just open another set of parentheses, select our first set of data, then a comma and a second set, comma and a third set. So we've got these 3 sets of data, all separated out by commas and all exactly the same size. Now we can say what row do we need. So let's for now just hard code this. So we say we always want to get row 3 of column 7. So that's the total sales of row 3. And now you'll see I have to press comma again. And if you remember, we have 3 sets of data, so you'll have to put a number between 1 and 3, and it will be the same order you've added them into the formula. So if I put in 1, it will be the 2018 sales. So there, that 54919 is this column here, but if I change this last number 1 to 2, it will read from the second set, or if I change it to a 3, it will change to a third set. So this formula can be useful if you put in your drop downs again and data validation, and you can swap between different sets of data, and this is how you use the second example for index match. Most people, I think, will just use the normal basic index match like this example. We just get one thing out of a database rather than the index match or the reference example. Something to note where this is something slightly different from a VLOOKUP is a VLOOKUP, you all have a set of data and your lookup value must always be on the far left. In this index match, the index and the match doesn't have to match up, so the lookup column doesn't have to be on the far left. You can look up to the left or right, and that's why we could get the class back as well, although we're looking in product. The index match is also a slightly faster formula, but for most sets of data, this would be unnoticeable. I would always suggest, if you're not used to the formula, is to write the match formula first, and that will give you a number like you see on the screen here. And if you get a number, you know at least that value can be found, and then you just wrap that up in an index formula and you'll get back what you need. And that is how you can use the index match formula. Hi, this is Anton from the Data Developer channel. If you've liked this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up below and subscribing to the channel. And thank you for watching.